And a very good morning to you all. My name is Mathew Anil. I work as a business development manager with ACAMP, focusing on health and medical sector. What I would like to give you is an overview of the opportunities enabled by micro and nanotechnologies in the health and medical sector. So to start with an introduction of what is MNT. So MNT involves building, fabricating, and characterizing products at micro and nano scale. So that includes micro features which are less than 100 microns and nano features which are less than 100 nanometers. To give you a perspective, human hair is about 100 micron. Viruses and bacteria is going down into the 100 nanometers, and atoms and DNA is going into the 1 nanometer range. So we are really talking about tiny particles, understanding them, manipulating them, and generating devices which are useful in the health and medical space. So the applications of MNT in health and medical can be segmented primarily into 6 areas. What I will do today is I will run through some examples of devices that are available in the market and that are emerging. And throughout the day, our technology speakers, the application speakers, and the companies will talk about new technologies, applications, and products that are coming out using micro and nanotechnology. The drug discovery and development, this is one of the main areas which has benefited from the improvements and the enhancements in micro and nanotechnology. Looking at targeted delivery of pharmaceutical products or lab on a chip being used for screening and multiplexing of chemicals used in the pharmaceutical industry. And this is an example of a Roche device which brings nanoscale delivery of pharmaceutical products. Another big area of growth opportunity is the diagnostics. Here I have an example of a product from ST Microelectronics. This is actually a point of need diagnostic device. It integrates all the functionality that is required for DNA detection. And this has been used by several companies in Asia when the avian flu was a big issue. Another application is the point of like the applied testing. For example, the drug abuse detection is an example, or food testing is an example, and toxicology research. There are several enabling technologies as well, like medical sensors, accelerometers, gyroscopes, and in the nanotechnology space there are several coating technologies which are antimicrobial or surface modification, which generates properties for preventing microbial growth. Another area that I want to focus is the assistive devices and home care, especially the wireless remote health monitoring, hearing aids, home care. There has been a trend that there is increasing personal responsibility for health. So that means more and more people are buying consumer-based health devices to use at home. Medical devices like implantables. So this is an example of a product from Medtronic. This is an implantable cardiac monitoring system. And examples of some imaging devices like camera pills, which is like a capsule endoscopy application. And the area in the analytical instruments. I will have a few slides later on which shows how the DNA sequencing and analysis have progressed over the years. So that has helped to make structural elucidation more easier, DNA analysis and proteomic analysis much easier. So that's an overview of the different segments. To give you a flavor of the market sizes that we are talking in the micro and nanotechnology space. So this is a report generated by Yole Development. It's a leading market research company out of France. They have been very active in this area. So according to them, this focuses on the market for microsystems in health. So if you can see here, in 2009, it's already about 1.2 billion, and they predict that it's going to grow to, by 2015, to about 4.5 billion by 2015. So that's a significant growth. And it comes in 4 areas as it's shown. It's medical devices, home care, diagnostics, and pharmaceutical products. One thing to also highlight is the sensor market. Sensor market is also expected to be growing into a $1 billion market in the medical application space. I want to show you a detailed picture of the microfluidics. So microfluidics is an element of the microsystems market, but this is an area where ACAMP is also specializing in. We have advanced microfluidics technologies, which Kevin will be talking about later today. So the market for microfluidics has been growing also very significantly on the drug delivery, point of care diagnostics, clinical and veterinary diagnostics. And to generate the volumes, one trend is to reduce the cost. So how can you reduce the cost? One trend is to use polymer as a substrate instead of glass. So the low-cost microfluidic devices are being produced with polymer technologies. And in terms of higher functionality, that happens by integrating silicon active surfaces into the microfluidics. So it's a combination of silicon and micropolymer-based technologies. Here I just want to touch base. This is for the long-term growth. This is it's a study done by EU about nanomedicine and how they see the nanomedicine market growing over the years. There are 3 areas that they have identified as growth opportunity. One is diagnostics that involve imaging and things related to other diagnostic applications. And the other area is the drug delivery. So that includes nanopharmaceuticals and nano devices. And one big area that is coming up is called the regenerative medicine. So what's regenerative medicine? Regenerative medicine is a way of repairing or replacing tissues which has been, due to accidents or damages, that has to replace those. That's actually a pretty big area, and I think we have some capability in Alberta in that area. And that also covers biomaterials or stem cell-based therapies. So there's a huge market coming from the nanotechnology, which is more in the long term, which is in the several billions of dollars. I often get the question that people hear a lot about, use of micro and nanotechnology in the health and medical. So I get the question, what is available today and what is coming up as an emerging product? So here is a list of products which are commercially available and being used in the industry today. I won't be reading through all of them. The slides will be available on the internet after the seminar, but I just want to give you a flavor. Like, one of the largest areas is the pressure sensors. It's being used for blood pressure monitoring, dialysis, respiratory monitoring. Another big area is like accelerometers for fall detection. And then also a lot of nano-based coatings, like ActiCoat, for example, is a company that have a relationship with Smith & Nephew, which is also commercializing that technology. In the emerging product area, what we see is smart pills. So there are several companies in the US that are developing smart pills. It's a combination of camera and therapeutic devices, and several sensors for managing image-guided therapy. And there are also a few examples of companies like NeuroArm, which develop these kind of technologies. So there is, let's say, when somebody is asking, is it being used? It's widely being used, and you saw that the market is already over $3 billion in this space. So going forward, it's also going to be a growing market opportunity.